We do here on Skiba News Nation, please like and subscribe, and also share with others so we can grow the biggest truth-seeking community on the internet. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. If you like bonus content, you want some extra Skiba News Nation stuff, please go to patreon.com/Skiba News Nation.
Welcome to Skiba News Nation, bringing you unfiltered views, news, interviews, discussions, and more. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Skiba, award-winning musician and son of Rob Skiba.
With the son of the legendary Rob Skiba. Jeremiah Skiba, what's up?
With my great and insightful co-host, Mr. Jake Grant. It's like I don't even want to wake up.
He's on a quest for truth.
There's a photo that's going around where Lee Harvey Oswald was standing right here. If that was moments after Kennedy was assassinated, then how's that a possibility? November 22nd, 1963 is a day that the world changed forever. Not because of Kennedy. That was the first time the word conspiracy theorist was used to demonize people like us. Truth or Con is very important. It's where us truth seekers are getting together. Do you really believe that right up there was a shooter that killed Kennedy right there? You think a back and to the left shot could have came from up there? I think it came from right where you're standing. That's what the fatal shooter was, right in that storm drain. That's the only way a downward trajectory could come. The kind of stuff we're going to be learning at Truth or Con 2025. So make sure that you're here in Dallas, Texas. We hope to see you there.
Lee Harvey Oswald allegedly shot and killed.
Allegedly.
Hey Skiba News Nation family, welcome to episode 127 of Skiba News Nation, your weekly source of the latest news, controversial topics, conspiracies, forgotten history, and so much more. I'm your host, Jeremiah Skiba, and before we get started, I just wanted to say, the original place for Truth or Con canceled us because they didn't agree with us speaking truth, so we found a better place, and it's called Social A, and it's going to be on the website. It's a much better venue, much bigger venue, much just way better. It's a blessing in disguise, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So go check out the website, truthorcon.com. Now for this week's current news, here's my co-host Jake Grant. Take it away, Jake.
Hey everybody. Hey Jeremiah. What's up, guys? Hey, make sure to go and check out truthorcon.com. And I know it can roll off the tongue a little funny there a little bit, but guys, we're going to have such a great time. I am still in waiting mode, if you know what I mean, for a very certain topic. But other than that, Jeremiah, I am super stoked for your trip coming up to DC. And you guys are going to get so much cool footage. But with that said, let's jump into some interesting stories that caught my attention this week. Starting off, I've always found it very interesting what they're doing at the big dome in Las Vegas. And apparently the Backstreet Boys are on residency there. Concert in 2145, apparently.
Come on. Say what? One more time.
Oh, hey, it's The View. There's been some interesting weather news going on. A rare 1 in 1,000-year rainfall event took place in Plant City, Florida, as 11 inches of rain fell in 4 hours. Flooding has been the big story this July, that's for sure. And, of course, we're seeing more flooding all across the country. Here we have a clip of a fire-nado forming during a Utah wildfire. This big Deer Creek fire has been the largest this year and has consumed an enormous amount of trees. What a cool fire tornado right there in front of us.
Task Force Leader Davis, 335, stay fire.
All right, now most of you have probably heard already, but there's been some Israeli strikes against Syria's capital.
We have some breaking news this morning. In Syria, there are some strikes by Israel because there were attacks in that northern region, that northern border region, and Israel's not going to stand for it. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, just a little bit ago at the State Department said, guys, maybe you want to back off, tamp it down a little bit, but this is a unfolding situation and some breaking news, and that's why Trey Yinks is going to join us from Tel Aviv for an update. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey, Dana, good morning. All of these Israeli strikes taking place in response to violence that is erupting in the Sweda province of southern Syria. There is the Sweda province because it could be a threat not only to Israel as these forces got closer to Israeli territory, but also to the Druze minority population there. Whenever the government forces continued forward, the Israelis decided to launch a series of airstrikes today against the Syrian capital of Damascus, targeting not only military headquarters in the capital, but also a position within the presidential compound, right next to the presidential palace. Now, we do know that the U.S. Special Envoy to Syria, Tom Barak, has issued a statement condemning the violence against civilians in southern Syria and urging de-escalation. He praised the Syrian government for putting out a similar statement condemning the violence, but indicated their actions and words needed to match. The key here is that the Israelis want the Syrian government to ensure that the situation de-escalates and that the Druze population is protected. At this point, based on the videos that have circulated online over the past 48 hours, the Druze population is not being protected, and that is the reason that you saw these Israeli strikes right earlier today.
Wow. Here's an interesting post. I wanted to read through some points. I think it's interesting. Personally, there's some things scripturally about Damascus being a ruinous heap, and that leading to some events after that. And now there's been fighting and destruction throughout the decades, but this post here says, latest updates at the top of this feed. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio now announces that after consultations with all parties involved in the fighting in Syria, there is an agreement to take specific steps that will end the fighting tonight. However, there are still clashes going on. Giuliani convoy struck by the IDF. There's currently no ceasefire. Clashes and massacres have been going on throughout, and the IDF continues to attack. Damascus now, Israeli fighter jets strike Katana, Meza military airport, and Al-Moademeh in Syria. There was an alleged ceasefire, supposedly, but the Druze leader Hekmat al-Jabari denies that a ceasefire has been reached. Continue fighting until Suwaida is liberated. Israel is unofficially declaring a war on Syria. Interesting. And some interesting health news. A peel made by yours truly, Bill Gates, right, was just approved for USDA organic certification. So organic is no longer safe, but yeah. What are they doing with that A peel stuff? You guys leave a comment. This next story I thought was very interesting. Alabama is sending incarcerated people to work at hundreds of companies, including McDonald's and Wendy's. The state takes 40% of wages and often denies parole to keep people as cheap labor.
The Alabama Department of Corrections farms out incarcerated people to work at hundreds of private companies and government agencies across the state.
McDonald's, Burger King, Golden Corral, Wendy's. They got a Wendy's contract right now. State Trooper's office.
They'll send everybody everywhere.
They'll send you everywhere. Yes, the parole office.
And even though ADOC trusts these incarcerated people to leave prison every day and work alongside the general public, many of them are still denied the chance at real freedom.
I work for y'all, but when I come off of parole, you deny me. Why would you deny me? Because I got free. Because you're getting free service. They want me to come back in tomorrow. They want me to, because they money keep flowing.
Thing with the prisons where if you're just a constant, slave to a prison system, then they can't really say the word slave, but they get all the benefits, right? Oh, man. So just really interesting way that prisons are cashing in on all those people doing wrong, right? Another conspiracy theory comes true. California bill passes to buy fire-ravaged Palisades for low-income apartments. So, of course, the theory there was the smart 15-minute cities and the correlation between the fires that burned down the Palisades and what happened in Maui. So, very interesting. Israel has bombed Syria's Ministry of Defense headquarters in Damascus and has launched multiple airstrikes. And here's a video of the attack as it happened. Wow, yeah, they had a really good view, this news team. Here was an interesting one. Apparently, J.D. Vance broke the tie in the Senate, advancing $9 billion in DOGE cuts, and this is associated with PBS, NPR, and USAID losing funding.
On this vote,
here's another one.
The
U.S. House has officially passed the
and
Bitcoin and crypto legislation.
The motion is adopted.
On the motion, so
on this vote,
crypto
the
legislation
yeas are 215 and the nays are
landscape
211. The motion is adopted.
This one's interesting. This is Tomorrowland's main stage.
The festival, and I think it's a dance music festival, that one. It was due to begin on Friday. I don't think that's going to be happening now.
Welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. We do want to get out to some of this breaking news coming into our newsroom here, courtesy of our partners, TMZ. Want to put this up on your screen, tweeting out from their account that the Tomorrowland Festival stage has been engulfed in flames. And there are several video images also floating around.
We just heard fireworks going off.
Taking us next, we certainly will bring it to you.
It's one of the biggest dance music parties in the world. Hundreds of thousands of festival goers flocked to Tomorrowland in Belgium during 2 jam-packed weekends of live electronic dance music. But like many large-scale live music festivals, music is just one part of business at Tomorrowland.
So we are walking into the festival. It is literally stepping into the world of tomorrow. The whole festival here is cashless.
To make purchases, you'll need a wristband, which is also your ticket in.
By the way, these wristbands, they can get pretty expensive. How much did you pay for that one?
I paid like €790. That's a lot of money.
Concessions are valued in Tomorrowland's own virtual currency called pearls.
So the cost for popcorn is 3 pearls, which is about €5.
But forget carnival food like hot dogs and fries. Here you can get healthy options like organic salad from a local Belgian farmer, or frozen yogurt with fresh fruit. Or gourmet diners can enjoy a 3-course tasting menu from a world-class chef, while still dancing to the beats of a popular DJ. Music festivals like Tomorrowland are increasingly catering to a high-end audience with a wide range of luxurious add-on options.
Here in Dreamville, Tomorrowland guests can opt for a VIP experience with their own cabanas for the weekend. It'll set you back around €2,000, but you get your own bed, jacuzzi, and even a 24-hour reception desk. If dancing to the music isn't enough of a workout for you, you can still break a sweat here at the gym on site.
The luxury accommodations are a big shift from the scene at festivals like Woodstock nearly 50 years ago. World-famous DJ Armin van Buuren says Tomorrowland has its own counterculture.
I think this is the Woodstock of 2017. It's a cultural movement. It's beyond the festival. It's a music festival combined with a theme park, combined with a food festival, combined with a cultural event.
Festivals like Tomorrowland are one way businesses and artists are reaching a younger generation, choosing.
We went outside and there was just a big cloud of fireworks and smoke.
Solstice. Scientists say something strange is happening with the Earth's rotation.
Good morning. Is it just me, or is the Earth spinning a little faster? Now, I'll complain about anything. You can't actually feel it, but scientists and NASA scientists say this is really happening.
And now scientists have discovered that time moved much slower during the first billion years of the universe compared to today.
That is how you feel when you talk about space, isn't it?
I need to reveal my space issue. But not now. Astronomers observed dozens of quasars over the course of 20 years, allowing them to see how the universe appeared to speed up as it aged.
A quasar is a hyperactive supermassive black hole at the center of an early galaxy, so luminous that it outshines our Milky Way by 100 times. This brightness acts as a cosmic cloak that researchers can use to track time across the universe.
I don't mean to correct you, but it's cosmic clock, I think.
Oh, did I say? Oh, I said.
How is it already almost May? In just over a month, we will be halfway through 2025. 2 weeks ago was New Year's. In 30 minutes, it'll be the 4th, and tomorrow's basically Christmas. And everybody always says, oh, it's just because we're getting older. You know, when you get older, time speeds up. But I would actually disagree, because I'm seeing 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds on this app say the exact same thing, that it's not just that time is going by quickly. It's like we can't keep up with it anymore. Days go by like seconds used to, and I blink and a week is gone. But it just reminds me of this verse in Matthew 24 about the days being cut short. And if those days had not been cut short, no human being would be saved. For the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. I really do think that because we are that close to entering into the tribulation, that we're already seeing the prep work essentially being done. We're already seeing time being accelerated, time and days be shortened, because we are literally about to enter into the tribulation. We are watching so many prophecies be fulfilled right now. Matthew 24 is literally coming to life right now, and it's such an incredible time to be alive.
If you feel like time is just flying by today, you're not imagining things. Today, Wednesday, July 9th, is actually going to be shorter, according to scientists who track the rotation of our world. About 1 millisecond shorter.
Quote, once in a 100-year flood. In Chicago, a, quote, 1 in a 1,000-year rain event. That's all just this week.
And China is grappling with widespread flooding after torrential rains struck parts of Shanxi, Chongqing, and Guizhou. Footage from state broadcaster CCTV shows people being evacuated by rescue teams on rafts and streets submerged with water. In Weinan, a city in China's northwestern Shanxi province, heavy rainfall began in the early hours of Tuesday, prompting authorities to initiate an emergency response. Floodwaters damaged a section of a national highway through the city, where about 50 meters of road was washed out. Authorities in affected regions have issued warnings for continued geological risks, including landslides and mudslides, as rain is forecast to persist in some areas.
We're seeing just incredible new images from across our region of tonight's severe storms. Check out this ominous sight over Bowie. I want to bring in meteorologist Steve Rudin really quickly. Steve, what exactly are we looking at here?
It's a shelf cloud, and it looks really scary. It's the leading edge of a severe thunderstorm. That's what we had, often accompanying with gusty winds, heavy downpours. That's exactly what we had. What you see here is warm air rising and cool air sinking, and then you get this shelf cloud. Think of a hot air balloon.
All those areas are thought to have a roughly 0.1% chance of this major flooding happening in any given year. Officials at the nonprofit organization Climate Central say to see this many historic and record-breaking events over the course of 1 week is alarming, Justin.
Yeah, back here in the valley, we've been breaking a different kind of record. We're talking about
heat. Thankfully, meteorologist Ginger Jeffrey says that we're starting to see a little bit of a downward trend here.
Yeah, now we're going to switch things out. You know, all those record events were fueled by tropical energy. And, you know, this year is one of the years that they said we're going to have increased tropical activity. In addition, there's this Bermuda high that's basically parked off the Gulf states, and that's just feeding all that moisture into Texas. And
the DMV during tonight's severe storms. This is some new doorbell video from DC's Noma neighborhood. The lightning also grounding planes at Reagan National Airport. Take a look.
Whoa! Oh my gosh, I got that on camera.
A passenger on this plane caught a lightning bolt on camera as they were stuck on the tarmac. The woman says they were supposed to take off for Las Vegas at 4:30, but didn't end up leaving until 4 hours later.
I'd like to say our side of it, the science side of it. This is exactly what was predicted. It's very difficult to tie any one weather event to climate change.
Good old Bill
However,
Nye, everybody.
The warm weather
Bill
events
Nye.
are actually easier to tie to climate change. And so the other problem that happened in the hill country in Texas is this business of the balcony escarpment, where the air mass got lifted. So it spread out and the rain came down even faster. But it'll happen again, to your point. And everybody's talked about this for years. And the technologies for warning systems exist. You know, where people have tidal or tsunami events, these sort of warning systems can be put up, but you got to get to higher ground very quickly. And the point that I believe was being made in the video a moment ago was the mass of the water. A 20-foot high mass of water in a half hour is you can't just float your way out of it.
And Google's Gemini. He lifted certain restrictions, but in doing that, he also opened up some real, it's problems.
Yeah,
it's real problems.
Yeah, nasty problems. Grok has been making headlines for giving inflammatory responses, and some of those include racist or anti-Semitic responses, one that seemed to praise Adolf Hitler.
Yikes. Well, in the chaos, ex-CEO Linda Yaccarino announced that she is stepping down from the company.
Chinese basically have effective control.
When the U.S. Secretary of State and National Security Advisor speaks, people listen. But what if they're the words of an imposter using readily available AI tools to dupe high-ranking officials?
This is the first exchange of real gunfire in the AI battles.
Imran Ahmed is CEO of the Center for Countering Digital Hate. They've reported extensively on how bad actors create deepfake voices and photos designed to manipulate voters and smear officials. Look, there's Joe Biden welcoming migrants and Donald Trump golfing with Vladimir Putin.
They're engineered to erode trust in institutions, in elections, in truth itself.
Elon Musk's AI chatbot Grok now walking back those comments. In a string of since deleted posts, Grok made anti-Semitic comments, then doubled down on those comments, even at one point praising Hitler. After the posts were deleted, the chatbot said it was a, quote, unacceptable error from an earlier model iteration, adding, as Grok 3, I condemn Nazism and Hitler unequivocally. His actions were genocidal horrors. In a statement posted to the Grok account, XAI wrote, since being made aware of the context, XAI has taken action to ban hate speech before Grok posts on X. It goes on to say they were able to quickly identify and update the model and improve training.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
For decades, Hollywood has imagined what might happen if AI went rogue. From Stanley Kubrick in 2001, A Space Odyssey, to The Terminator, to Ex Machina. But my next guest says this isn't science fiction anymore. Writing an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal warning that AI has learned to bypass commands from humans when asked to shut itself down, even resorting to blackmail in some cases. He adds, the models already preserve themselves. The next task is teaching them to preserve what we value. With me now is Judd Rosenblatt.
Will, let's ask you right off the bat, walk us through exactly what happened with Grok over the past few weeks so that we can understand from Musk's initial complaints to these anti-Semitic posts.
Yeah, like you guys said, this kind of set the internet on fire the last few days, but it really, kind of escalated a few weeks ago back in June when Grok, this AI chatbot that Musk is running and is the owner of, commented that there's more right-wing hate violence than left-wing violence, and Musk took issue with that post and said it was a major fail and that he wanted to make changes to make sure that it more aligned clearly with what he's trying to do with the chatbot. And then a few days later, a few weeks later, this is on Friday now, he comes out and says, look, we've made improvements. You're going to see some big improvements with Grok now. And basically, as soon as he said that, Grok has started unloading anti-Semitic and racist posts, comparing itself to Hitler, and it just set the internet on fire. And, Grok and XAI in the middle, like you said, this AI battle, tried to pull these posts down, but the internet lives forever and they're still being spread, and it's kind of he set his goals here with AI in a hard direction going forward.
So I just, we've been told and we've been sold that artificial intelligence is so much better than us. It's so much brighter than us. We can just rely on it. We don't have to second guess it. But it really is all about the programming here. I think this uncovered a whole thing where I just have to ask you, are we still supportive of AI in general, or how do we know what AI is going to do and how it's going to get it wrong? Kids getting their homework wrong, things happening because they just rely on what we were sold that AI would be. What do we do with this?
So yes, this is happening in pre-deployment testing just to make sure that the models are safe before they're released. And these behaviors are fairly concerning because it means that as AI gets more and more powerful, and we just don't actually understand how AI models work in the first place, the top AI engineers in the world who create these things, we have no idea how AI actually works. We don't know how to look inside it and understand what's going on. And so it's getting a lot more powerful, and we need to be fairly concerned that behaviors like this may get way worse as it gets more powerful.
Talk to me, what was the blackmailing incident that even happened in the pre-deployment?
Well, so basically, the Anthropic's Claude 4 Opus model was told that it would be replaced, and it told what it told the AI engineer who it thought was working on it was in 84% of tests that it would reveal an affair that it thought that employee was having because it had access to the emails that it thought that employee had. So it threatened blackmail over this affair in order to not be shut down.
Wow. I mean, the manipulation seems to me to be almost a human quality that I'm surprised that AI would be able to personify. And
suffice it to say that there's a lot of AI videos that we've been watching lately, and I think what we're seeing is that as it's growing more advanced and people are depending on it more, it's going to become more of an important topic. But I shared that video because the topic of AI advancement seemingly goes hand in hand with people's digital lives and their implementation of their online persona in the way they interact with the world, and how that cripples and helps people in different ways. It can be a blessing or a curse, so to speak. But for this last video, check out this clip from Michael at Vsauce. Pretty interesting how it ties in with this advancement in computing technology. For a moment, and I pause it just so you can reflect. All that we do is being recorded, and we become the training models for AI. And so when somebody with an agenda has all of our information, that's when it becomes dangerous. And I think the carrot at the end of the stick, the tantalizing treat that drew us all collectively into the trap, was this bonus of just being able to take advantage of our digital selves. And not only that, but the memory aid of pictures and video, and the entertainment aid, and the knowledge aid. I mean, it's the poison we bought because we knew what it was, and now we've given it everything. All right, guys. Well, just a fun, interesting, short news segment for this week. I'm really stoked to see what you got for us today, Jeremiah. And thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget, go and check out truthercon.com. We're looking forward to seeing you all in Dallas, Texas at the end of October. And with that said, man, catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Jake, for another great current news as always. Now a quick look at my new book, Charlie's Big Adventures Around the World or Not.
Something in the mail today. Can I open it up? See what it is. Look at that. Charlie, look at this. Look. It's you. Charlie's Big Adventures Around the World. We're gonna flip through it. Look at all that. Look at this thing.
Here they are.
To Danny's boy.
So now if you guys buy this in our Babylon Rising bookstore, you get a free signed copy for the same price. So I just wanted to throw that out there. If you guys want a special edition of the book, go there.
Check out our new and improved BabylonRisingBooks.com, where you can get Rob Skiba's books, bundles, DVDs, DVD-ROMs, videos, and so much more. You can even get Sheila and Jeremiah's books, so check it out now.
Hey, it's about that time for an all-new Opa's Corner. Take it away, Opa.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
The strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. These are the kinds of subjects a man named Robert L. Ripley challenged us to believe it or not.
Believe it or not, you.
Wally, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it!
You're a loony.
Tablecloths were originally designed to be used as one big communal napkin. Then they started to use ties. Believe it or not. It takes about 20 minutes for your brain to realize your stomach is full. Except for my dog. Believe it or not. There are more than 200,000 ways to customize a Burger King Whopper. That would take almost 183 years eating a Whopper 3 times a day. Believe it or not. In 2016, teens placed glasses on the floor at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. Many mistook it for an exhibit. Next time, try taping a banana to the wall and glasses. Believe it or not. The concept of the teenager is relatively new. For most of history, people were fit into 2 categories, children or adults. And now there's the tweener. Believe it or not. Carrie Hallowett of Illinois strung approximately 1,150 corks together to create a floating suit. Why? Believe it or not. Vladimir Lenin's body, on public display since 1924, is dressed in a double-layered rubber suit that keeps him covered in a thin layer of embalming fluid. Yeah. Believe it or not. A U.S. household will, on average, use 2 trees worth of toilet paper per year. 3 if you paper houses. Believe it or not. Marshmallow treats date back to ancient Egypt. I wonder if they had marshmallow roasts around a campfire. Believe it or not, you use your entire brain, not just a fraction, as commonly believed.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Believe it or not. Before co-designing the Barbie doll, Jack Ryan had been an engineer working on guided missile systems. Same thing. Believe it or not. There are about twice as many kangaroos as there are humans in Australia. Kangaroo lives matter. Believe it or not. In some cultures, the tooth fairy is known as the tooth mouse. You know, Mickey's second job. Believe it or not. Sliced bread was banned by the U.S. government at the height of World War II. Believe it or not. Elvis was a black belt in karate. Believe it or not. Warning. The content of the following videos have not been verified by Opa's Corner. Viewer discretion advised.
Police body cam captures lady vanishing out of nowhere.
Hey, how's it going?
I was speeding, wasn't I?
Yeah, you completely blew past that stop sign in front of me.
I'm so sorry. I literally didn't even see it.
No
This is
worries.
my first time being pulled over.
Alright, can I see your driver's license registration, please?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car. So
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and missing stop signs?
I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there, away from a birthday party.
Got it.
Not mine, but
Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
no, of course not.
Alright. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back. Your registration is this. What the?
Sarah?
What the heck? Sarah? 3201 to dispatch. Hi.
This is the most disturbing proof that our reality might be an illusion, and it's absolutely terrifying. On the 16th of July, 1985, the Clark family vanished without a trace in Detroit. But when the police arrived to investigate, they found something even more unsettling. Their house was there, but officially it had never existed. No records, no blueprints, nothing. The officers entered the house trying to understand what was going on. The interior looked normal, but while reviewing municipal documents, they realized something impossible. That plot of land had never been registered as residential. It was as if the house had appeared out of nowhere. In the backyard, an inexplicable brick cube drew their attention, and inside the bedroom of the daughter, Anna Clark, they found a disturbing note hastily scribbled, "The angles are wrong, but Daddy says we'll fit." Forensics analyzed the cube and discovered that it seemed hollow inside, but when they tried to break it open, hammers and tools simply bounced off. No sound echoed inside, as if it were both hollow and infinite at the same time. Then someone suggested, checking the negatives of the crime scene photos. That's when they saw the impossible. In every image, the house appeared distorted, with impossible angles and shadows that shouldn't exist.
This rock dropped on the ground, created bizarre noises. Watch this. Is it just a rock, or a piece of something not from here? Because
this is the only real proof that some places were never meant to be entered, and it's absolutely terrifying. In 1916, at the Whitestone Hotel, a century-old building in Denver, Colorado, guests began reporting a strange door at the end of the third floor. door 301. The problem? According to the manager, there was no such room on that floor. The reports kept coming. Always at night, always the same description. A dark, weathered wooden door with the number 301 carved into it, as if etched by hand. But during the day, the door would vanish without a trace. Security cameras never caught anything, just an empty hallway. Then one night, a hotel employee, curious about the rumors, decided to wait there until the end of the night shift. At 3:12 a.m., the door appeared. He went in. He never came back out. There's no record of him going downstairs, checking out, or even leaving the building. The most disturbing part? The hotel's system logged his keycard's last use as room 301, never registered. And on the building's technical blueprints, that space doesn't physically exist.
Was this man really from the future? Back in 2003, a man named Andrew Carlson had an insane run in the stock market that raised a few eyebrows. Well, you see, this man performed 126 stock trades and turned $800 into $350 million in just 2 weeks without losing a single trade. Well, as you can probably guess, the FBI showed up and arrested him for probable cause with regards to insider trading. However, what was interesting was that when he was interrogated, he simply claimed to be from the year 2256, almost 250 years in the future. The authorities were puzzled, but soon realized that there was no records of his existence from before December 2002, 3 months before the arrest. He was later put in a holding cell for the night, but the next day, he vanished without a trace. So,
this girl claimed to be Cleopatra's friend in a past life, and it's one of the most chilling reincarnation cases in history. In the 1940s, a Kansas couple, John and Mary Carter, had a daughter named Emily. She seemed like any other child until at the age of 6, she began making unsettling claims. I lived in Egypt before. I miss my old home. Her parents thought it was just a phase sparked by her fascination with pyramids and Egyptology documentaries. But things got stranger. Emily began drawing hieroglyphs, saying, "This is my name." When asked where she'd learned them, she would insist, "I just know." Her parents dismissed it as a child's imagination. As Emily grew, her obsession with Egypt intensified. By the time she was 18, she had an uncanny knowledge of ancient Egyptian culture and symbols, despite never formally studying it. For her birthday, her parents decided to take her to Egypt, hoping to indulge her curiosity. Once inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, Emily acted as if she'd been there before. She corrected the tour guide's directions and confidently led the group through corridors. Then she stopped at a hidden doorway and whispered, "This is where I was last." Inside, they discovered an undisturbed chamber and a sarcophagus covered in hieroglyphs. The symbols perfectly matched the ones Emily had drawn as a child. She turned to her parents and said, "This is my name. This is who I was." The family was left in shock, unable to explain the unexplainable. And what she did next left the tourists inside run and scream.
For goodness sake, Wilf, trim your eyebrows. They think you're one of them.
Everything looks okay. Tubing's not kinked. So why does it keep beeping? You know, I always wondered what they were made out of. Holiday Fruitcake Deposit Box. Acme Bulletproof Vest Company.
Yeah, my boss don't appreciate me either. To him, I'm just a gopher. Igor, go for brains. Igor, go for dead bodies. Igor, go for sandwiches. I don't know. Give me another beer.
Uh-oh, Ruby. The apartment downstairs is awfully quiet.
See? I told you it wasn't a new planet.
Gad, it gives me the creeps when he does that. I swear that goldfish is possessed or something. The backstory of Charlie Brown's teacher. I won't ask how it got there. Considering the risks involved in removing it, the real question is, can you live with it? I don't know what your invention's called, but it's really irritating.
Hey, Lynn, check this out. In all our time cleaning up roadkill, did you ever find one wearing an aviator's helmet?
Thank you, everyone, for contributing to the meal.
It's so hot, I've been feeding the chickens ice cubes just to keep them from laying hard-boiled eggs.
Stumpy didn't know how he got in this situation, but with the whole town watching, he knew he had to play it out.
Hold it right there, stranger. We got us a hat check law in this town, so just take it off, nice and slow. And if you squint your eyes just right, you can see the Zork in the earth.
First trip to the vet? How'd she do getting into the carrier?
First, you're going to delete all those negative comments about our food, furniture, and sleeping arrangements. Then you're going to give our cozy little bed and breakfast a nice big 5-star rating. Now, aren't you, dear?
No, I'm not going to empty it so you can get the toy surprise inside.
Oh, Misty always hates me showing this slide. It's halftime at the '88 Detroit-Chicago game where we met. Did you want to know if the baby's a boy or a girl?
We're going to let the baby decide.
Can you believe it? What kind of breed would rather draw cartoons than play ball? Labradoodlers. Scenic view. Only 2 rocks. Wait here. Ooh.
Sure, it's a digger-upper, but that's why the price is so low.
Nature's subtle signs of danger. Fish niblets. And over here we have the in-law apartment. Come on. The grass is nearly 2 feet high now. Hold your horsepower. I'm finishing my memoirs.
See? I told you. You bought a writing mower. Fifth Federal Mortgage. Well, good news. Your mortgage has been approved. However, we require that from now on you get written permission from us to make any purchases over $50.
Weird. It must have gotten mixed in with the office supplies when I left the job.
I don't think you've thought this through. Do you realize you'll have to jump 9 times? Missing goldfish. Answers to Larry. Do not chase. May become aggressive. 15-cent reward. That glorious moment when the sign instructs you to do a burnout. For those that have never seen a catfish. And that concludes another Opa's Corner. Opa's Corner is now available on my own YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you, Opa, for another great Opa's Corner. Everybody go subscribe to Opa's YouTube channel and show them that you love Opa's Corner. So now a quick word from our good friend, Kristen. I want to introduce you guys to somebody named Kristen, who's one of the biggest forces behind Skiba News Nation. This is Kristen. She helps us get all the big guests. I understand that you're doing this full time now. So how can people find out how to use your service?
Well, I started Fellow Helper Agency, and you can go to fellowhelperagency.com. And I do any of the behind the scenes, email, getting the interviews, and I do prep work for the shows as well. I do timestamps and moderating.
She is the best with connects. If you like any of our shows, any of our big guests, she's the person to go to. And if you have a channel, definitely go to our website. So go check out fellowhelperagency.com. Now this week we have a special segment. So let's play that little intro. So this special segment was very special to me and to Opa. So me and Opa had the opportunity to interview an American icon, somebody who has been to every sports arena, has done almost everything on earth, is like the Forrest Gump of mascots. So we had the opportunity to interview the San Diego Chicken, and the stories that he told us were just amazing. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our interview with the San Diego Chicken. Hey, Skiba News Nation family. Today, Opa and I have a very special guest. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to Opa to have a legend, an American icon, you could say. And one of my personal heroes, Ted Giannoulas, the amazing San Diego Chicken. So I'd like to welcome him to Skiba News Nation. Welcome.
It's a pleasure being with you, gentlemen. Thank you.
So cool, man. Yeah. I can't. The first time I ever saw you, I was a bat boy, and I was thinking about this the other day after we had talked. I was a bat boy for the Frisco Rough Riders, and I think I met you like right before you came out, and I was like, man, that's so cool. And so Opa thought it was cool too, and then I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to do that, and so I ended up becoming Deuce, and then that's later on down the road. But yeah, it's such an honor to have you, and there's so many questions we want to ask. But for those of our audience who may not know who you are, which I don't know how you couldn't know who you are, but how did you start with the San Diego chicken?
Well, believe it or not, Jeremiah, it started back in the 70s, 1974. I was a student at San Diego State University, just studying journalism and such. And it was the day before Easter break. I'm lounging on the campus radio station lobby area, just with about 4 or 5 other friends who decided just to hang out for a few minutes before spring break. And in walks a gentleman from a local rock and roll radio station, KGB. And he literally stands at the doorway and asks us right then and there who wants to come and work for the station for about the next 10 days, basically just dressing up in a chicken suit and going to the zoo and giving away candy Easter eggs. The pay was only going to be about $2 an hour. And all of us went nuts. We volunteered on the spot, anything to get our foot in the door at a real radio station.
Right.
So suddenly he's got these 5 eager faces, and he's got to pick one. So he looks around the room, points to me in the far corner, and he says, "You, the short guy, you'll fit the costume best of all. So you start tomorrow." And just like that, he was done in 90 seconds. Came over, shook my hand. We met at the zoo the next day. He gave me the outfit. And so I went to the front gate of the San Diego Zoo, just started passing out these candy Easter eggs as a radio station promotion.
Wow.
And so it kind of took off right from there.
That's so cool. And so I watched like several documentaries. This was even before we started communicating, but it was about like you were the mascot for the radio station, and they would have you go to baseball games or football games, and they wanted you to represent their radio station. And then that's how you got your start, like meeting with fans and stuff and becoming a fan favorite. Like, I saw so many people.
It evolved from there, Jeremiah, because once my stint was done, I wanted to stay at the station somehow. And I figured, well, why don't I start going to sports events? We were trying to show off the call letters of the station. And that was fine at the zoo. But I figured, wow, what if I went to opening night for the Padres? That would be something, just to expose the call letters in front of like tens of thousands of people. And so, just started going there, and the fans had fun with it here in San Diego. And I started goofing off in the aisleways, and it just grew from there. Fans started laughing. The Padres were getting positive feedback. We were getting good feedback back at the radio station. And so we had literally fallen into an idea for marketing, which nowadays is called guerrilla marketing. And that's where you put the brand or, your image in front of people in unorthodox locations. And it just took off from there.
I know that, I don't know how it all went down with KGB, but I know that you loved doing it so much and the fans loved you so much, and then something happened, and then you decided, hey, I'm going to do it myself, because, you were the chicken. Like, everybody knew you as a chicken because of your personality and just who you were. And it's you have you're almost like a comedian. Like, you make people laugh, you make people have fun. Can you kind of describe what that was like?
Sure. Well, I was with him for 5 years, and then I wanted to expand the horizon of what I was doing. And the station wanted to keep it anchored more towards just San Diego. And so we came to loggerheads. They fired me. Then they filed a lawsuit to prevent me from branching out on my own.
The scene from yesterday in which our television camera became the first allowed in a San Diego courtroom was still in the mind of Superior Court Judge Raul Rosado. He asked to see both chicken costumes to determine if they were in fact substantially similar. That was the basis of the contempt charge. Radio station KGB claimed the costume, designed and worn by ex-employee Ted Giannoulas, looked too much like the one originated by the station. Before reaching his decision, Judge Rosado said no one can have a monopoly in chicken costumes, and he did not want to deprive people from watching the art of Giannoulas. He also mentioned that Giannoulas had performed at a county bar association dinner. Judge Rosado dismissed all contempt charges, and the chicken was
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty and Judge Rosado, I'm free at last. Woo!
While all of us will agree that Ted's appearances in court were unusual and colorful, I think we'll all be glad to get him in a different setting, and Judge Rosado seemed to agree. He said he wants to put this to nest once and for all. John Killia, News 8 at the county courthouse.
But they lost that lawsuit, and the courts ruled in my favor and made me a free agent chicken. And so I started branching out all on my own. This was getting national attention back in the 70s.
In Major League Sports today, much of the cheering isn't for the guys in the baseball and football uniforms, but for those in the mascot uniforms. The St. Louis Cardinals have their Firebird. In Philadelphia, they have a creature called the Fanatic. In Pittsburgh, it's a parrot. Mascots are being discovered everywhere. In New York, Montreal, Baltimore, Oakland, Boston, Atlanta, and Houston. But this is San Diego's mascot. The man in the bag is Ted Giannoulas on his way to court. Before being forced to become the unknown mascot, Ted Giannoulas was known as the KGB Chicken, the big bird of baseball. Fans flocked to the stadium to cheer the chicken, even when the San Diego Padres were laying eggs.
I turned into a folk hero of sorts. This is my 6th year of doing this kind of work now, and I'm enjoying it. It's more like a hobby, making people laugh. And at one sitting, listening to thousands of people laugh on some particular shtick or routine is really an emotional uplift. They really are spur-of-the-moment improvisational, spontaneous ideas established in a sports setting, be it, for the most part, a Padre game or a football game. But if it gets a good reaction, I'll remember it and make it a permanent part of the repertoire for the next time around.
Sometimes, the next time around turned out to be in other towns. Chicken's fame spread, and fans were hollering to see the chicken strut his stuff, as he did here at a basketball game. Because he had flown the coop without permission, management at KGB Radio fired him.
We have terminated Ted Giannoulas' salary, and we have filed a lawsuit in San Diego Superior Court to protect our rights.
The courts upheld KGB's position, and Ted became a man without a uniform.
Well, at first I was heartsick. There's no question about it. For 5 years I worked as the chicken in San Diego and worked with sports teams in San Diego. And in essence, the judges divorced me from that.
Then, station management figured a chicken by any other name would still please the fans.
The KGB chicken still exists and will continue to appropriately represent the people of San Diego.
But the fans booed the new chicken right out of the stadium.
Tremendous attention.
Yeah.
And so other teams started calling me up, seeing me on TV and such, and they figured, why don't we have the chicken come out and be a guest at our ball game? And so as I started going around the country upon the invitation by all these teams, something mysterious happened. They were selling out their games for my appearance. And so it just grew from there. Teams started recognizing this, that the chicken was box office. And they started calling me, and as they say, my dance card got pretty full, going coast to coast for all these teams. Not only coast to coast, the entire continent, Canada, Mexico, and subsequently over the years, it just grew from there to go around the world.
Yeah, that's why they call you the world famous San Diego chicken, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the famous San Diego chicken. That's true. And I enjoy that. I enjoy it. But the thing is I try to be a chicken for all people, because laughter is the universal language.
Yes. I mean, I'm all about that. Like during the show, I always like to, even when we talk about like news that's sad, I try to bring some kind of comedy, even though some people don't get my comedy, but I try to bring something funny because, I mean, life is so short. Why why be doom and gloom? Like, it's always important to laugh. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. And I think you made me laugh as a kid. You made me like have fun just by watching what you were doing. And it inspired me to end up, going down the same kind of, like, I hate saying mascot, but it's really a character is how I saw it. But going down that avenue of, I want to make people laugh and I want to do this and that. And it's just, yeah. I'm just nerding. I'm nerding out right now. And sorry if I'm not making any sense.
Yeah. The way I saw it, Jeremiah, the way I saw it at a stadium or an arena event, here was a whole community coming together. And I felt that, what could I do just to bring a few laughs? I always loved comedy and I loved sports. And I decided to merge the two into this unique act. And, I wanted to be a fuzzy Harpo Marx at the game, just in the aisleways, and in the corridors and such, just having fun with people. And eventually what happened with the Padres, they loved it so much in the front office that they were the ones that suggested I go on the field between innings and try some stuff so the whole stadium could see it. And it just branched out from there.
Yeah, and that's very unusual for major league teams to have entertainment between innings. A lot of them don't do that. Only minor leagues.
Yeah, well, it was unprecedented for its day, Opa. It was really something. It was unheard of. You're absolutely right. But I was lucky here in San Diego because the owner of the Padres at the time was Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. And he had a great sense of humor. And all his concern was, even though we were a last place team at the time, all throughout the 70s, essentially a bottom run team, he just wanted his fans to enjoy themselves. He was always about the customer first. And if you couldn't win, and we tried winning, and he signed a lot of free agents, didn't work out. But the whole idea, he saw me going around and the fans were having fun. And he loved it. And so he and his front office staff encouraged me because they weren't paying me, of course, but I was still getting paid $2 an hour by the radio station. But they loved it there, and they were very kind and gave me all the room to operate. And as I got more creative, like I say, it just got its own footing and became a fan favorite.
Yeah, one thing that I mentioned on the phone was one of the first time you sent me a voicemail on my phone, I let my mom listen to it, and she knew who you were too. And she got a kick out of it. She thought it was so cool. And a couple of months later, she passed. But it's so cool to be doing this with you now because I know she's smiling. But I asked you a question, and it kind of has to do with your mom. But your mom created the chicken that everybody knows now, right?
Well, yes. She had a hand in helping develop the outfit. It started off with a regular costume company. And then when my mom saw the outfit, she said, well, I could do something like that. That's easy because she was a seamstress. She would make dresses of all kinds. She could do, like I say, wedding dresses, gowns, everything. She was a Greek immigrant, and we became U.S. citizens when we moved here, of course, from Canada. And then she would continue with the clothes. And so when she saw the outfit, she said, yeah, I think I could do that. So she always helped repair and always made additional outfits for me. And I was able to grow the character as a result.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned character because, so I was Deuce the Prairie Dog at Rough Riders, and it was probably my favorite job I've ever done because this was the last year that they were going to have Deuce when I got the job there. So there I am. But it was the last year they were going to have Deuce. And so I wanted to make him like a Mickey Mouse, but like goofy. Like I wanted to blend the two because he looks kind of goofy And he's like Mickey Mouse, like he's the OG. So that's the kind of character I portrayed, and they liked it so much that they kept Deuce. So they have 4 mascots now, which is crazy. He's still there. And the guy,
wow.
Yeah, and the guy he imitates the way that I did things, and I think that that's so funny. And I know the same thing happened with you, with the guy that tried to take over the KGB. He was like, I was studying what he was doing and trying to be you. I just think that
when I got fired, they brought in an intern to try and take over, but it was hopeless, and it didn't last. I don't think it lasted a week or two. And that was it. And the fans were not accepting of it. They just weren't. But,
even on the news, that news clip, all the fans are like, no, we want Ted.
And pickets followed him wherever he appeared.
KGB has an idea that we don't care who's in the chicken suit. They've suspended Ted. Ted's the person that San Diego for 4 years has fallen in love with as a KGB chicken. They think that just by replacing him with another person, we'll still keep the suit. We like the suit. That's it. It's not it. We want Ted in the suit. He's the one we love.
Like, they were not having it.
Oh yeah. That was really something back in the day. And but anyway, I was able to branch out on my own, and so that was a great first step as a result to save the character. And the station thought, like I said, they could put an intern in there, and he could jump up and down, and that would be it. And that was not the case. I just try to make it a comedic character, and have fun. And you gotta, as you would know, you gotta know sports, and you gotta have a sense of humor, and to know what's funny and when to lay low. And so those things. We're second nature to me, being a sports fan anyway.
Yeah.
So many of the acts that you did have been copied by a lot of teams now, and even Jeremiah as Deuce did a lot of the same performances that you did, and I think that's incredible that you have influenced so much. The mascot and performances and everything else.
Sports culture, period. I mean, just yeah.
Uh-oh. Looks like Deuce is in a dancing mood again.
Well, it's interesting, Opa. When I started in 1974, there were really no mascots on the professional sports scene. Colleges had them, high schools had them, of course, but they were more like cheerleader types. My own high school had the Hoover Cardinal, but nobody wanted to do it. And at times, just a cheerleader would pop their head on and just run the sidelines for about 30 seconds, take it off, and that was it. But when I started, no professional teams really had mascots of any kind. And as a result now, everybody's got them, it seems like. Even the Olympics make a big deal over having a mascot. So, it's really something what was generated from a lowly rock and roll station radio promotion. And it just grew from there.
Yeah.
And it's even this was going to be one of my kind of questions later on, but I think it would be a good time to bring it up. But okay, so I'm the biggest Elvis Presley fan. He is I love Elvis, and my wife thinks I'm crazy because I love Elvis so much, but her dad loves Elvis too. But I heard that there was a story that you have with Elvis. Is that true?
Oh, a great stoit Yes.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, about 1976, I believe it was. It was about 16 months before his passing. And
wow.
And he's playing a concert at the sports arena here in San Diego. And as I was doing back in the day, I would go to all the concerts in town as an ambassador for the radio station. And once again, just to show off the call letters. And like I say, I was ubiquitous at all public events in San Diego. But on this night, Elvis was performing. And as I walk into the sports arena, they all security was wagging their finger at me, saying, "Hey, you got to be cool tonight. Elvis is royalty. No fooling around with Elvis." Because I would, run the aisles and dance and that sort of thing. But they try to make me literally stay in my seat for this concert. Well, in his song set, he goes on a medley and brings up the song "Whole Lot of Shakin' Going On" by Jerry Lee Lewis. I said, well, that's my number. I'm not going to sit here and just listen to it. I got to go up and dance, because there's a line in that song: "We got chicken in the barn. Whose barn? My barn." So I leave my seat in the darkness of the sports arena seats, and I go down the aisle, and I literally go all the way up to the stage under Elvis, and I'm dancing in front of the aisle under Elvis while he's singing "Whole Lot of Shaking Going On." And the fans are enjoying it, of course, and I'm dancing up a storm like it's American Bandstand or something, back and forth. Elvis sees this, and he starts laughing on the stage. And he was starting to laugh so loud, he forgot the lyrics to a song. And then he goes down to one knee. He's in hysterics watching me dance to this music. Meanwhile, the band is still playing the song, and they're a little worried because Elvis is on a knee, and they're afraid, oh, he's going through a seizure of some kind. And what happens in that moment? His doctor, Dr. Nick, runs from the side of the stage with his black bag, his doctor's bag. He opens it up right beside Elvis, pulls out a stethoscope, puts it on, and attempts to get Elvis to lay down on the stage. Elvis is having none of this. He's laughing, he's shaking his head, and he literally has tears in his eyes. I can see tears in his eyes. He's laughing that much. But I'm still dancing. The band's still playing, albeit a little bit softer. And so Elvis shakes off the doctor. He points to me. Doctor looks over. There I am dancing. I'm looking up to see, hey, what happened to the lyrics? Okay. And the doctor, you could see the air go out of him. Oh, man. Okay. Elvis is just having a big laugh. He puts away his stethoscope, his bag. He scoots off the stage. Elvis gets back up, turns to the band, tells them keep going, and he finishes the song, and I finish my dance. after the number is done, he apologizes to the crowd for messing up the lyrics and forgetting himself and stopping in mid-song. And he says to the audience, I don't know if you all can see back there, but you got to believe me, there's a chicken dancing up and down the front of the stage here. And the audience goes, yeah, Elvis, yes, we know. And then bless his heart, Elvis comes up with the perfect tagline. He turns to me and he says, I don't know who put the chicken up to this, but I want to warn him. My manager's name is the Colonel. And so I scream, ah! You know, oh! I get scared and I literally hoofed it out of the building. I ran right up the aisle like I'm scared. And right at the top, there was security. They picked me up and hauled me right out of the building, you know, even though Elvis was still laughing on stage, you know. So
man,
that was
that's
great. To me, that was a great moment that I could make the king laugh.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most epic Elvis stories that I've ever heard.
Actually happened. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, there's probably a recording of it somewhere. There's resurfacing stuff, and I'll look for it, and I'll be like, "Hey, that's my friend."
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out what is one of your favorite acts that you put together. Which one of them? There's lots of them.
Opa, I'd have to say, of everything, of all the gags and routines I've ever done, my favorite one is, I have to say, the grand hatching. Now, this was in June of 1979. After I had been fired by the radio station, I was branching out on my own, debuting a new coat of feathers, literally this. Now, I didn't have access at the time to my old costume because the courts barred me from that temporarily. So I figured the show must go on. I'll just make a new chicken suit and come back in it. And so I decided to debut it before a Padre game at Jack Murphy Stadium out of a gigantic 10-foot styrofoam egg. I had one created, built, hollowed out inside, and the whole idea was for me to hatch out of it at a pregame ceremony to debut my new chicken suit. And so it was a remarkable moment. I was brought out on top of an armored truck with California Highway Patrol escort. They escorted me onto the field. The players came over. They took the egg off the roof of the truck and laid it out on the infield by the foul line. And then to 2001, I started rolling around. The music, 2001, I started rolling around in the egg. And as the music reached a crescendo, I burst out of it to a standing ovation in front of a sold-out crowd. It was a magical moment. And baseball historians have said that has to be the best promotion in the history of baseball, if not all of sports. And like I say, we sold out the stadium, and it was a tremendous moment. And that made national news, of course.
Because it is so epic, you coming out of that shell.
Oh, yeah.
It is so cool.
Yep. And so, it was a 10-minute standing ovation, and a couple of players carried me off the field, and it was a remarkable moment, I must say. So for me, that's my all-time favorite gag or routine.
How do you come up with your gags? How do you dream them up?
You know, it's interesting, Opa. Sometimes I'd be inspired by different things. Sometimes a piece of music might dawn on me, and I figure, oh yeah, I can do that at the stadium. And by the way, a lot of people don't know, I introduced recorded rock music to stadium and arena events, because with my background being at a radio station, people don't believe this, but there was a time only organ music played at stadiums and arenas.
That's right.
I decided to bring recorded music. So as a result, sometimes I think of a song and I say, oh, I can do a bit to that. But also, I got gags and routines as suggestions from players, umpires, coaches, fans, broadcasters. Everybody just saw what I was doing, and they would pitch ideas for me to try. And I would go out and give it a try. And if it worked on the audience, it became a permanent part of the repertoire. And of course, like I say, I would look at something and I say, what could be funny here? What could I do here? And so when I see the grounds crew go out in the inning break and clean up the field, I figured, well, I can go out and join them, and be part of the mayhem and just like be one of them. The whole idea, the whole vein of what I was doing was not a human trying to act as a chicken, but a chicken trying to act like a human being. And so, it made it that way, a cartoon character that came to life.
Right.
And so these various ideas came to me in that kind of venue and mindset.
Well, speaking of that, what happened with the Barney skit?
The Lombardi skit?
Yeah. Did you get in trouble with that one?
Oh, the Barney skit. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I love that one.
Oh, I love it too. As a matter of fact,
Barney,
Jeremiah would do that as Deuce.
The Barney the dinosaur skit. That's right. Yes, I did a bit or routine. I was watching the old one of the old Saturday Night Lives when Charles Barkley was guest hosting, and he was going one-on-one in a basketball game against Barney the dinosaur, and he was literally plowing into him and beating him up and dunking on him. And I thought, hey, that's pretty funny. And then I got to thinking, well, what could I do? What could I do with that character? He's so renowned. And so I figured I'll have a dance-off contest with Barney the dinosaur, because Barney was known for dancing. I love you, you love me. So I figured, well, I'll go out and dance, and we'll dance to some kind of song, some disco song or a rock song, and have a dance-off. And in the sketch, Barney would win the dance-off, and I'd end up bowing to him, and he'd cop an attitude and push me down, and then I'd chase him across a diamond and then tackle him and then pin him like professional wrestling and show that I was in charge. Well, the Barney people got really upset with me, and so they threatened to sue me and eventually did take me to court, but they lost that case. They lost it, and they had to pay all my legal fees because it was satire. It was satire. It was part of the First Amendment right that you can make fun of anybody and anything at any time, provided it's in a joke atmosphere. And so that's what this was. And the courts even admonished the Barney people and their lawyers, come on, you know better. This is a satire. It's a joke. And you got to take it with a sense of humor. And so, that ended up being that routine got to be a big fan favorite, especially, ironically, among the kids. They got the biggest kick out of it, that Barney and me were going at it first in a dance-off, and then like in a smackdown, as between us. It was pretty good.
He didn't even look like Barney.
No. No, it was a costume that I found from a costume shop, and it wasn't quite the Barney knockoff, but it was relatively close that it got the idea across with everybody.
It was a dinosaur, and it was purple.
So they shouldn't have been able to sue you because it was a different
with a green belly, with its green belly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So but the whole idea was that it was a satire, and people got it, and oh man, I got to tell you, that got to be one of the top fan favorites of my repertoire of gags.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it kind of, so as having a YouTube channel, YouTube doesn't like when you use other people's content and react to it or parody it. So I always have to be fighting with YouTube about, there's a Fair Use Act. We have the First Amendment, and we're constantly having to do that. And I saw that with your career too. And I was like, man, he's like doing it, but in a whole different way. And I thought that was so cool that you're able to defeat the court that's trying to take you down, and
oh yeah, there,
so awesome.
In the past there were naysayers that say you can't do this, you can't do that, and they decide to impose lawfare where they know better, they know you're correct, but they try to drain you of your resources, financial resources, just running you through the ringer of the courts, But the courts, thankfully, were pretty much in my favor. And when Barney lost to me, they made Barney's people pay for my legal fees as well. So that was a very positive, I thought.
So how did you come up with the skit with the little chicks, the little chickens?
Oh yes, I do this bit where little kids follow me on the field like almost like a chicken train, and they copy all my moves. And we spank the catcher on the butt for good luck, and we put the voodoo on the visiting team for bad luck, and then we pass by the home plate umpire while he's standing there, and we give him the raised leg salute, shall we say, much like how a dog would go on a fire hydrant. And that was actually suggested to me by a front office member of the Padres. He was driving home one night, one late afternoon from work, and he notices that on the road people have stopped. The traffic is stopped and backed up, and people are out of their cars and looking. And he gets out to look, and it's a mother duck literally escorting her chicks across the road while everybody on both sides stops to wait and laugh and let the mother duck pass, And so he calls me up when he gets home, and he says, I just saw the funniest thing, and people were having the greatest time with it. And he says to me, you got to do this in your act. You got to dress up little kids in baby chicken suits and follow you out on the field. What they do, I don't know. That's up to you. But when I saw this, he says, people had a great time with it. You should try the same thing. And I tried that, and yep, he was right. Instantaneously, people just had fun with it, because essentially it was Halloween coming to the ballpark or the arena, and people were enjoying it. You little 5-year-old toddlers just dressed up in suits and following me around, and inherently it was very funny, and it made people laugh, and that's the bottom line. That's all you can ask, guys. You say, hey, did people laugh? Did they enjoy themselves? Yes, they did. And that's what scores with me. And that's the goal.
It's a great audience participation thing too, because I'm sure you chose the kids out of the stadium, and that.
Yes. Oh, as I go across the country, that's a good point, Opa. As I go across the country and I do these gags, I'll recruit them literally out of the grandstand for these kids. I ask the parents, and if the kid is willing, yes, we include them, and then I rehearse with them briefly before the game, not in costume, just out of costume, and I tell them what we're going to do, and that if they have the personality for it, and so many of them do, then we take them out on the field or out into the arena floor for basketball, and they'll follow me around and have a good time with it, and the fans, like I say, love it. And it's, they're only out there for about 90 seconds.
Yeah, but it's very good connection between you and the audience, and it really makes them want to be there, and you're a part of them, and they are part of you. I think it's great.
That is a very good point, Opa, because I was born in the grandstand too, don't forget. And so I'm a fan. But the idea of it ingratiating the audience into the mix of the entire atmosphere, that was important to me, because there's a real connection there that people really seem to enjoy. I mean, even myself, I would go onto the field, do some bit with the players or the umpires, and then I would run right back and jump into the audience with them. And so the audience is thinking, my gosh, he's one of us. Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Exactly.
So I saw a couple of cool photos of you and President Reagan. And can you tell me a little bit about that story? I think that's like one of the coolest photos ever.
Oh, yes. I had such popularity here, I guess, in San Diego and throughout the state, that when President Reagan was literally in his last campaign, it was 1988, he was passing through San Diego, which he called his lucky city, because he never lost an election in San Diego County. Never. And not as governor and not as president. And in 1988, when he was running to help out the first President Bush for his campaign, he was campaigning in San Diego, and the White House staff called me up and asked me if I could come out and be part of the festivities, to help welcome President Reagan to town. And I said, sure, of course. And I came out there, and obviously all the people went nuts. And I was up there with him on the stage to help introduce him. And when he came to the stage, I raised his arm in victory, and it was a great moment to be there. Unbelievable. It was a tremendous thrill to be recognized like that by the White House and say, hey, could you just come out and say hello and introduce us? And I got to say, it added a lot of color to the event, to say so myself, because you have all these politicians and dignitaries and what have you. But then here I come, and I'm at the podium to help introduce the president. And he loved it. He had a good sense of humor anyway. And it was a special high mark for me.
Yeah, what was he like? Did you have the chance to talk with him after or before?
Yes. Yeah, backstage afterwards, I was able to have a few words with him. Very cordial, very kind, extremely appreciative, and a tremendous ambassador for the country. Let's face it. He was the way I saw him, he was just the same person off stage as he was, before the cameras, and it was wonderful to see.
That's awesome. Yeah. Go ahead, Opa.
I was going to say, you also were on the David Letterman show, weren't you?
Yes, actually, it was a Tonight Show when David Letterman was hosting for Johnny Carson on one of his vacation breaks, and so David Letterman had me on, and that was wonderful. I get to sit at the couch and answer some questions and goof off with the band, and there was I was really taken aback. This was about, I'd say, 1979, the fall of '79, and it was wonderful. But I went on to do a lot more television after that. For example, when Regis and Kathy Lee had their program, Kathy Lee went on maternity leave, and Regis had me come in and be a guest host in place of Kathy Lee.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And I spent the whole hour there as a guest host. It was a wonderful moment back in New York. It was great. And so, there were things like that. I would be asked to host concert events, believe it or not, be the MC for a concert. For example, at Jack Murphy Stadium, when the Ramones, a rock band, were headlining, they asked me to be the MC, to host the event. So that was a feather in my cap. So a lot of things really transpired from what I was doing, in sports and such. A lot of times, again, on the music theme, bands would invite me on stage to perform with them. That would include Jimmy Buffett. That would include Sammy Hagar. who I had a great time with on stage. There would be so many bands that I literally went on stage with as well. Cheap Trick. I could go on and on with so many of them. And but again, it created that camaraderie between the audience and the show itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said you are an American icon. And when before I came to the studio today, it was helping my mother and father-in-law. They're setting up a garage sale, and my wife said, "Hey, did you know that he's going to be talking to the San Diego Chicken?" He was like, "Oh, no way, the San Diego Chicken!" Like, he was very excited about it, and it's just amazing how so many people, gravitate towards you because you are such a real life character. Does that make sense?
Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you to say, Jeremiah. I enjoy what I'm doing. It's a lot of work, and it's a lot of effort, a lot of planning, but it's not a job. I love it that much, and as a result, it was second nature to me. And I got to say, people inspired me with their laughter. It just encourages you, and there's nothing special. There was nothing more special to me than hearing thousands of people laugh at one of my jokes. I wasn't. It's just 90 seconds of improv and a sketch without any dialogue, and people would laugh. They would get what I was doing. It was like a fuzzy Harpo Marx, like I said, or like a Charlie Chaplin. It was a visual comic. People would see it and identify with it and have fun with it, and that was important because, I say, I was among them.
Yeah, I like that you're able to talk too, because as Deuce, I wasn't allowed to talk. But it's so so I got this signed when I met you. I mean, it's been chewed up by a dog, and I was very upset when this happened. But you took the time to talk to every single kid in that line, and that meant a lot to me and probably every other kid there. And that's one thing that I try to do is Deuce. You are inspiring the next generation of entertainers, I feel, or at least you have for me in my professional mascot career, but even though it was short. But I try to be an entertainer in everything that I do. But I this is one of my prized possessions right here. So,
well, the way I look at it, if Big Bird can talk and Barney the dinosaur can talk, so can the chicken.
Right.
But you touched on something there. You're right. After every game, nonstop, when I was allowed 99% of the time, I would set up a table in the concourse and stay and sign every autograph request and take every picture request for as long as the people were in line. And I never left anybody behind. I stayed till the very last one. And sometimes I would go literally till 2:20 in the morning. And that actually happened at Old Arlington Stadium after a Rangers game. I was there till 2:20 in the morning. It's a fact. Even the Fort Worth Telegram had a little sidebar article how long I was there for. But I was surprised that people are still there past midnight, till past 1 o'clock, till past 2 o'clock. They're still there. I had fathers telling me they went home, they dropped off their family, and they had to come back and do a U-turn to get the autograph or a picture with the chicken, and then take it home for everybody in the morning. And that to me was extraordinary. But it's something I enjoy doing. The way I look at it, they came out for me, and the least I could do is stay for them till everybody got an autograph or a photo that they were happy with.
That's awesome. So are you still doing the chicken? You're still out there doing your act and everything?
No, believe it or not, now, Jeremiah, I'm in semi-retirement, and I don't do as much at all. Maybe the odd thing here and there, but now I'm actually in my 70s, and I'm starting to enjoy life that I missed when I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, believe it or not. And so I'm now taking it a little more easier and enjoying San Diego for the town that it is. And let me tell you, I enjoyed going all across the country anyway. I enjoyed going nationwide and around the world. So it was all good to me, and I loved it all.
The problem now is that the minor leagues have set time limits, and there's not a lot of time between innings now, so you would have a really tough time doing a lot of your acts.
Yeah, I'd have to shorten a lot somehow, and I don't like I got to tell you, as a baseball fan, I don't care for the pitch clock. I don't care for this hurry up thing. And I'm going to tell you something as a baseball fan that a lot of people should notice, and nobody's talked about this. So this is chicken theory, okay? We have seen in baseball a lot of arm injuries to star pitchers.
Right.
And my point is they are hurrying those pitchers so much with their pitch clock business that it's ruining arms and careers. And baseball has got to rethink this pitch clock business, because I don't think the human body can recover quickly enough after the physical thrust of delivering 95-mile-an-hour fastballs, 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, 90-mile-an-hour curveballs or sinkers. There's a stress that's going on in the human body that needs a little more recuperation time from pitch to pitch to have this kind of physicality. So if I was commissioner, or if I had the commissioner's ear, I would say, just rethink this pitch clock business and let's go back to the way it used to be. Let the pitchers have their moment out there so that they can be at their best. Because if you look around, a lot of star pitchers are going down with arm injuries, and that's not right.
Right. And on top of it, they put pitch limits on them, and they only pitch once every 5 days, but they don't do anything in between. And so they should be continuing to throw the ball at least between starts. Nolan Ryan pitched games up to 14 innings with ever being pulled out, and pitched 200 some odd pitches in a game.
Yes. Oh, I'm with you, Opa. I'm from the day I remember Juan Marichal, Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax, Whitey Ford, Warren Spahn. How did these guys do it? How did they do it? And they would do it every 4 days normally, not every fifth day, but every 4 days.
Right.
And they had great stuff, and they were Cy Young Award winners. And heck, their videos are still on YouTube. You can go see, but you got to ask yourself, how did they do it? And so something to be studied about, I think. But like I say, being a baseball fan, I notice a few things that are good for the game and not so good for the game these days.
Yeah, Jeremiah was a pitcher.
Yeah, and I got hurt from trying to throw it too hard and all that. So you're exactly right. I think your theory is very likely.
Oh yeah. When you see, like I say, the physical thrust that has to go into these pitches, and I think the arm and the body just need an extra 10 seconds or so to recuperate, for the next pitch. Instead of saying, hey, you're on the clock here, you got 15 seconds for that next pitch. Hey, let's go. Oh,
well, that makes it feel more like work, and that's another thing is it's not fun anymore. Baseball is not. When they put all these regulations and stuff, it's like, but that's why it was fun, and they kind of lost that, and I hope they make those changes. And I mean, I guess we can only hope for the best, because I don't know where the game's going now, but
well, year after year we're seeing these pitchers go down, and it's remarkable. I don't know when the moment is going to come when they're going to say, hey, we got to be careful. I mean, look at the NFL. When they started losing a lot of quarterbacks to injury from these sacks, from these hard tackles, they basically came up with a roughing the passer rule to try and save some of these quarterbacks, because the NFL recognized all our star quarterbacks are going down fast, with these hard tackles and such. And that's part of the game. I get it. But obviously, they want to take away the angle from the intent to injure the star player. And football is football. I get it. But, the league wanted to protect its quarterback. And it's looked towards that to say, okay, yeah, let's just be a little more cognizant of people who are vulnerable on the field. Just as they have a roughing the kicker and now they have roughing the passer penalties. That again, just to protect the key people from the elements of the harsher side of football.
Well, getting back to the mascot, what advice would you give someone who is wanting to become a mascot?
Well, I would say, be yourself. Try to think of gags and routines that might ingratiate yourself with the fans. Sometimes small things can be big things. I enjoyed goofing off on top of the dugout, off of the action, and playing to that. To me, that was always fun. I would say be prepared for the physicality of being strong in the suit. Takes a lot of energy and a lot of tolerance for heat. In my outfit, I never had any fans. I never had any ice chests, ice vests, or anything like that. I wanted to be as mobile and light as possible. So I would say have a good sense of humor. Please know the sport that you're performing in. That's important. I've seen mascots not know anything about the sport and cheer at the wrong times and just look like a fish out of water, So know who your home team is and who the visiting team is, believe it or not, and just understand the game so that when you cheer or you razz the umpire, you're doing it with an understanding with the fans.
Yeah.
Go on.
ahead, Opa. No, you go.
I was going to say, how has your being the San Diego Chicken impacted your life outside of your costume?
Oh, that's interesting. I would say it's made me see things in different lights. Believe it or not, Opa, it really does. People are can be very, very good-hearted. They really can, and it's made me look at the things differently. Maybe that comes a little bit with age as well, but I just look at things like in the end, laughter is the best medicine for everything.
Right.
And so I try to live with a laugh in my heart every day. And you might work hard and you might persevere, but take a little time to laugh, take a little time to dream, take a little time to think. That's important. And
absolutely.
Yeah. And so when I look at the audience and see them having a good time, that encourages me to say, this is fun. And let's, it's one journey through this life. You got to enjoy it. You just have to enjoy it.
Yep. Well, I have two kind of final questions. One, can you send me an autograph picture or something?
Absolutely. I will do that for you, Jeremy. Absolutely. Count on it, my man. It's going in the mail this weekend.
Okay. I'm honored to call you my friend. And we're actually, you can say no, but we are putting together this convention for our audience. It's more like a conference, but you know, it'd be cool to have the chicken there. So the invitation's there. And, you know, if you want to MC, you know, it'd be awesome to have you.
I'll keep that in mind. But when do you have this planned for?
It's October. This coming October.
I'll have to see. I can't commit to that yet. Don't forget, I'm in semi-retirement. So,
yep.
I'll definitely keep that in mind, Jeremiah. So I don't want to be committal. What, you doing it near Halloween time? Is that right?
October 25th and 26th here in Dallas. And yeah, it would just be cool to have you there. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. I can't commit at this time, but I definitely keep that in mind. You're a good guy, Jeremiah.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for your time. I mean, like I said, you are a legend, an American icon, like for real. And I want all of our audience members to go look you up and, you know, how can they follow you? Do you have any social medias or?
I'm not on social media, believe it or not. I don't do any social media. I'm just not there with it yet after all these years. I do have a website, famoussanDiegoChicken.com, and that's basically it. The biggest one of the biggest honors I get was when people reflect on their memories of stuff that they've had at the ballparks with me and that sort of thing. And to me, that's an honor. That the fact that I live in people's memories and hearts that way, that's always the highest honor you can ask for. And I've been lucky in that regard.
Well, thank you so much for coming on our show. It means a lot to me and Opa, and
absolutely,
it's so cool. Like this, I'm still nerding out, but
you've been a great inspiration to Jeremiah, and it really helped him to create his character in Deuce. So
on the show,
and on the show too, yeah, because
Well, I'm honored. That's great. Yeah, that's fantastic. And I'm sure as Deuce, Jeremiah, you touched a lot of people, especially the kids, you know, and had fun with them. And, you know, when they come up and pet you and stuff like that, that means a lot, you know.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's a tribute to you. And I'm glad you had the opportunity to do that. Like I say, you're a physical icon, an ambassador for the team, and that's so important for the fans.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for coming on Skiba News Nation. One of my favorite interviews so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed this special segment with the San Diego Chicken. I know it was a blast doing it. I know Opa had a fun time, and it was so much fun just being able to talk to him and everything. And thank you, Jake, for another great current news as always. Opa, thank you for another great Opa's Corner, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode as a whole. Stay awake, not woke, subscribe, and stay tuned. If you like what we do here on Skiba News Nation, please like and subscribe, and also share with others so we can grow the biggest truth-seeking community on the internet. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there. If you like bonus content, you want some extra Skiba News Nation stuff, please go to patreon.com/Skiba News Nation.
Son of the legendary Jeremiah Skiba.
It's like they don't even want to wake up.